Seats, and we will get started. Welcome everyone to the Menlo Park City Council meeting of December 11th, 2018. This is certainly an auspicious occasion. This is our annual reorganization meeting. I wanted to welcome all of you this evening. I'm Peter Otake. I'm honored to serve as mayor this year and for the next 20 minutes. But I would like to certainly welcome many of there's various dignitaries, local officials that I see in the audience. Assembly Member Mark Berman, I think I saw him, there he is. East Palo Alto City Council Member Larry Moody, right there. Palo Alto Vice Mayor Eric Filseth. Let's see. Karen Holman, former City Council member in Palo Alto and Peninsula Open Space Board member, newly elected. Congratulations. And I also saw former Palo Alto Council member Pat Burt. I think I saw him come in. And certainly, and Lydia, that's right, Lydia, welcome as well. So appreciate your coming this evening, as well as all of the commissioners here. I see many commissioners from the various commissions here in the city of Menlo Park. We thank you for your service and for attending this evening. Let me just go through the roll call here. To my right, we have Council Member Rich Klein. Council Member Catherine Carlton will be joining us shortly. She is stuck in traffic on her way here from a meeting. And hopefully will join us shortly. To my left is Vice Mayor Ray Mueller. To my far left is Council Member Kirsten Keith. Over at the table there is our City Manager, Starla Jerome Robinson. Next to her is our City Attorney, Bill McClure. And over on this side, we have our City Clerk, Judy Herron. And if you want to speak in public comment, please fill out a form in the back and give that to Judy. If I can ask you all to rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. First, we will have public comment. Under public comment, the public may address the City Council on any subject not listed on the agenda. Each speaker may address the City Council once under public comment for a limit of 3 minutes. Please clearly state your name and address or political jurisdiction in which you live. The City Council cannot act on items not listed on the agenda, and therefore the City Council cannot respond to non-agenda issues brought up under public comment, other than to provide general information. We first have, as a public speaker, Ragda Karaja from the office of Congresswoman Jackie Speer. Welcome this evening.
Hello, everyone. Unfortunately, the Congresswoman couldn't join us today as she's in Washington, D.C., but she would like to represent Rich Klein, Kristen Keith, and Peter Otake with these congressional records that cement their history of service for future generations to see. They're quite long, so I'll just read a paragraph from each one. Let's start off with Peter. Mr. Speaker, I rise to honor Peter Otake of Menlo Park, who is departing the City Council after 8 years in service to his residents. In 2010, Peter filed to run for the council. These were some of the worst years of the Great Recession, and the city's budget was in distress. It would have been easy for Peter to wait for a less challenging time to run, but instead he stepped up to serve his community. He came in first among 6 candidates for 3 seats. He was subsequently re-elected in 2014 and has served twice as mayor. Mr. Speaker, the people of Menlo Park are highly educated and passionate about their beliefs and deeply engaged in national and local public affairs. Peter is a stellar example of that. He may look back at where he started, with the budget in tatters and basic services in retreat, and relish that he helped guide Menlo Park through recovery and into prosperity. I wish him well in his next adventure during the years ahead.
Wow, that's very nice. Thank you. So-
Okay. Mr. Speaker, I rise to honor Richard Klein as he concludes his service to the City Council of Menlo Park. He leaves a record of passionate commitment to the priorities of housing, transportation, and education. He advocated for smart growth along transportation corridors and for mitigations to the Facebook development that would put housing closer to the campus, create shuttles, and potentially reactivate a rail line across the bay to reduce vehicle traffic. At some point, long-anticipated improvements to the Willow Road overcrossings will be finalized, which Rich Klein will not be on the council when the intersection is opened. His support was vital to ensuring that this community-wide benefit is implemented. In his election to the council, he was variously supported by the Sierra Club and labor community leaders and businesses. Rich Klein is a pragmatist and respectful leader, which is part of the reason that his colleagues elected him as mayor of Menlo Park on 3 separate occasions. As he retires from the council to concentrate on his business and family, we want to thank his wife, Julie, and their 3 children, Maria, Chiara, I hope I said that right, and Gianna, for allowing Rich to spend so much time on public affairs during these 3 terms on the council. He will be missed as he leaves an incredible impact on Menlo Park. His service is an excellent example of the quality of local leadership that exists in San Mateo County and the strength of democracy in cities throughout America. And last but not least, Mr. Speaker, I rise to honor Kristen Keith, a great community leader and personal friend, for her 8 years of outstanding service on the Menlo Park City Council, 2 terms as mayor. Kristen decided to run for City Council in 2010 during one of the worst years of the Great Recession, when the city and the region were in distress. Her willingness to step up and serve her community during tough times exemplifies her unwavering commitment and determination to help others. As you can surmise from Kristen's energy, it is exhaustible. She is also the first to raise her hand to volunteer or tackle an issue, and she does it with a warm smile on her face. Mr. Speaker, I ask the House of Representatives to join me in thanking an outstanding community leader and colleague, Kristen Keith, for her stellar service to the residents of Menlo Park. She can look back to 2010 when her hometown was crumbling under the pressure of the recession and feel proud that it is today a thriving city. Her contributions have left an incredible mark and will be felt for years to come.
Thank you. Next, we have Assembly Member Mark Berman. Wow, framed.
Thank you very much, Mayor Otake. I'm Assemblymember Mark Berman, and I'm proud to represent the city of Menlo Park in the California State Assembly. And alongside me is Joan Dentler on behalf of State Senator Jerry Hill. And I'm grateful to be here today to express my gratitude and thanks to Council Members Keith, Klein, and Mayor Otake for their service to the community. I was reading through these resolutions before, and I'm not going to read them all now, so don't worry. But between the 3 of you, you have 28 years of service to the Menlo Park City Council, or to the city of Menlo Park, including 7 different years as mayor. That's thousands and thousands of hours of meeting time. That's thousands and thousands of hours of prep time so that you're prepared at the meetings. I know a lot of folks from the public come to the meetings and see us in this format, but don't realize the hours it takes to be prepared for every meeting. And there's not a doubt in my mind, nor anyone else here, that you leave Menlo Park a better community than when you joined it on the board 12 years ago and 8 years ago and 8 years ago. And I know that your peers will give more specifics on your time on council and your achievements, but I'm just really glad to be here to present these resolutions on behalf of myself and Senator Jerry Hill from the state legislature, commemorating your time on council. And I'm not going to read through all of them, but just want to skip to the last clause of each one, where it says, "Now therefore be it resolved by Assemblymember Mark Berman and Senator Jerry Hill, that Peter Otake, Kirsten Keith, and Rich Klein be commended for their exemplary leadership as members of the Menlo Park City Council, applauded for their outstanding record of civic leadership, and extended sincere best wishes for continued success in the future. Thank you all very much for your service.
Next, we have Mitch Slomiak with time donated by Diane Bailey. Welcome, Mitch, followed by Michael Francois.
Good evening. My name is Mitch Slomiak. I'm a 25-year Menlo Park and Willows resident. As a former chair of the Environmental Quality Commission, key participant in the Menlo Park Green Ribbon Citizens Committee, or GRCC, and current chair of Menlo Spark, I am very grateful to you as an outgoing city council. When I stood here a little more than 10 years ago to deliver the GRCC's report and recommendation on climate change, Rich Klein was the only one of you on the dais. Can't believe it's that long ago. The GRCC noted then that as a center of innovation, Menlo Park had a unique opportunity to rapidly adopt and innovate best practices to dramatically reduce local greenhouse gas or GHG emissions. The GRCC recommended the bold step of declaring a community-wide climate neutrality target for 2030, which was then 22 years away. If such a goal were to inspire action by many other communities, there would be a chance to stem the tide of climate change. Your council adopted a 10-year greenhouse gas reduction target of 27% by 2020 to get the community jump-started. I note that this seemed like a big stretch for some of you at the time. Along the way, your council has consistently provided funding and collaborated with community leaders to implement a series of initiatives that has Menlo Park poised to attain this 2020 goal, even with the unforeseen levels of development that are in process. I commend you 5 council members for your overall service and particularly for your support in this regard. Menlo Spark has learned that communities the size of Menlo Park and our peninsula neighbors are collectively responsible for 4 times more greenhouse gas emissions than large cities with 500,000 or more residents. So our efforts here in Menlo Park, as they are used to inspire and jumpstart many more communities, becomes an absolutely essential part of the solution. It's not just about 400,000 tons of greenhouse gases here. It's about leverage to really address the problem. The new National Climate Assessment indicates that the world, our nation, and our communities have far more to do than has already been accomplished in order to mitigate the most severe impacts of climate change and ultimately restore a healthy climate to our grandchildren. All the impacts, sadly, are unfolding much faster than was forecasted when I was here 10 years ago. We at Menlo Spark will be encouraging our new city council, including 2 of you, to adopt additional far-reaching initiatives to greatly reduce and ultimately eliminate community-wide greenhouse gases related to natural gas usage and transportation. Even with the challenges of running a complex and multifaceted city government, we urge our new council to maintain climate action and sustainability among your key priorities going forward. Climate-smart policies are the path to attracting innovative companies, reducing congestion, and assuring the health and vibrancy that make Menlo Park so special. We are poised to support you and supplement the resources available to city staff. Rich, Kirsten, and Peter, thank you for your fine work. I will personally miss collaborating with each of you in this manner. And Cecilia, Betsy, and Drew, welcome aboard.
Thank you, Mitch, and also by extension to Diane as well. Mike Francois, welcome.
I'm going to miss you guys. I've talked in front of you guys for about, 10 years on and off? Yeah, it's been a long time. Piggyback you on his health issue, I just want to this is the best time I can do it. This is the only time I have it. It's sad news, but it's educational news. In the San Francisco Gate on .com, Assembly Bill 976 was another number about 4 years ago when I fought against it. Governor Brown signed a bill that basically can liquefy corpse into a liquid. It's a heating thing where when people die, you liquefy the body and you can pour it down the drain. And he okayed that before he left office. The reason I'm telling you this is because there are a lot of mortuaries in the San Mateo County area. And to liquefy bodies of dead people and pour it down the drain with the chemicals, and as we know, and everybody in here knows, right now we cannot clean out all the medicines and the chemicals in the water that we drink. If you have your water tested, you can go to Home Depot or Lowe's. It will come back, and you will find out there are medicines in it. From the diseases that people have, from polio to AIDS to hepatitis A, B, C, and so on. And I don't think it was right for him to do that. I think there's really something wrong with Brown. Anybody that would sign a bill like that to liquefy dead body corpse and pour it down the drain and make it legal with the chemical that's in it and with the water problems we have already, that shouldn't be allowed. I don't know why he did that. That guy, everything he touches, it either goes up or goes down. You know, he raised everything in taxes that he could. He's pouring this down the drain. He ignores the borders. He's like he left the state of California in shambles. Lieutenant governor at the time, Newsom, didn't say anything, didn't do anything. Jackie Spears didn't do anything. Nobody in California with any power said anything, not even loudmouth Maxine Waters, you know. Nobody did anything. And I hope the county can get together with the 26 cities and go convince the new governor that we don't need this contamination in our water. It's already bad enough. Every 6 months something with E. coli pops up? And now you're going to add this to E. coli? And like I said, it's 100% proven that we cannot clean our waters 100%. So we don't need to be adding any contamination. The company that pushes this says, well, it will not. The burning cremation of body contaminates the air. So now they want to contaminate the water. So I would, hope you all take it under consideration in the future and take care of this problem. And I would like to say goodbye to you.
Thank you, Michael. I don't see any other speaker cards. All right. Yes. Yes, please.
Good evening, Council. I'm Katie Baruzzi. I'm currently the Vice Chair of the Complete Streets Commission, and I've been involved in city affairs for a couple of years. I just want to recognize the current council, and especially the 3 outgoing members, for the gift you gave our city in the form of the Oak Grove bike lane and the University Avenue bike lane. These are important steps that we need to make in our community toward a complete streets city, which is not only, an aspirational goal, but actually also something we're kind of supposed to be doing according to the laws of the state. So I know it wasn't an easy process, and I watched you guys sweating it, and I think it was really illustrative for me as a relatively new person in the city affairs to see how complicated it is to thread the needle, to find the best solution for the city, knowing that sometimes you're going to disappoint people. You're always going to disappoint people. And figuring out how to balance community input and action, and figuring out how long things like this should take. And you don't always get it right. We never get it right the first time, right? We're going to have to keep iterating a bit. But I really was appreciative of the bravery and the stand that you took. And each one of you comes from a different kind of background vis-a-vis active transportation, but you kind of worked together on that, and that was great. And I'm excited to know that, coming onto council, we have 2 former bike commissioners, so I'm imagining that we will have, as well as Cecilia, whom I first met on a bike ride. So I think the council will be in good hands, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of this kind of great work. But I just wanted to thank you and say it was a great learning experience for me to watch how you guys work together.
Thank you, Katie, and it's been great working with you as well. All right. With that, we have our consent calendar, but because there's only one item on the consent calendar, which is the meeting minutes for December 4th, I'm just going to ask for a motion to approve the meeting minutes of December 4th. Okay. Vice Mayor Mueller has made the motion. Second. Councilmember Keith has seconded. Let's vote.
The motion passes.
Great, thank you. Now we're at regular business. We have just a few items. I just wanted to announce we're going to, perfect timing. Welcome, Councilmember Carlton. We're going to slightly reorder the agenda where we're going to put recognition of the outgoing mayor and council members before the swearing in of the new council members. I think that will be cleaner, and we'll get that all out of the way and for the new council to be seated. So the first item on the agenda is F1, which is to adopt resolution number 6475, declaring the canvass of votes cast and results of the general municipal election held in the city of Menlo Park on November 6, 2018. And City Clerk Judy Herron is available for questions. Are there any questions or comment? Vice Mayor Mueller.
I was just going to move the motion.
Okay.
Second.
All right. All in favor? Let's vote.
The motion passes unanimously.
Great. And what I'd like to do is I'm going to head down to the podium, and we're going to recognize first.
Recognize yourself.
First, Rich, and then Kirsten. So. So I'd like to read a proclamation expressing the City of Menlo Park's appreciation to Richard Klein. Whereas Richard Klein was elected to the City Council in 2006, re-elected in 2010 and 2014, served as Mayor Pro Tem in 2009 and 2015, and was 3 times selected as mayor for the years 2010, 2011, and 2016. And whereas Rich Klein consistently supported and fought for a city government that was open, transparent, and accountable to the residents it serves, highlighting the importance of the public bidding process, effective community engagement, and the opportunity for all to have a voice in how their city is run. And whereas Rich Klein, over the course of his tenure on the City Council, became a knowledgeable and statesmanlike voice on important issues including high-speed rail and grade separations, major land use decisions such as the Menlo Gateway development, the El Camino Real Downtown Specific Plan, and Connect Menlo General Plan Update. And whereas Richard Klein recognized the challenges facing Menlo Park and became a vocal supporter of improving government access and the services offered to residents, especially those in Belhaven, including new and expanded classes at the Onetta Harris Community Center, the completion of a 5-year library master plan, and the initiation of new library system improvements, the addition of new signature community events such as the holiday tree lighting, Menlo movie series, and concerts in the park at Kelly Park. And whereas Rich Klein, while serving as mayor, welcomed the mayor of Galway, Ireland, and signed the city's first official sister city agreement, cementing the long-standing and historically significant relationship between Menlo Park and its Irish ancestor. And whereas Rich Klein espouses the best aspects of an elected public servant through his humility, frank communication and honest dealings, sense of civic duty, and wonderful approachability, and now therefore be it proclaimed that the City of Menlo Park extends its heartfelt appreciation to Richard Klein for his years of leadership, dedication, and service to the Menlo Park community. So I just wanted to add a couple of personal comments, and then I'd like to invite my fellow council members to make some comments about Rich. Rich has been a steady keel on the city council for not just the 8 years I've been on the council, but the 4 years prior to it. He has been consistent throughout these years, and I also want to mention that he's got a very keen sense of humor. We usually see that in closed sessions, but it really helped quite a bit to sort of make the whole process much better and go much smoother. And I know he cares deeply for the city. He's worked really hard over the years, and we certainly appreciate that. My fellow council members, who would like to make a comment regarding Rich? Councilmember Keith?
Oh, I would love to. I mean, Rich and Peter, both of you guys, it's been a pleasure serving with both of you for all these years. And I recall back in 2010, Rich, when you called me, and I remember being on I-80, and you called and said, hey, will you run for council? And I think my phone cut off, and I didn't know. And then came back a month later and talked to you, and it's been a pleasure serving with you. You do have a great sense of humor, and you bring a great wealth of knowledge to the position. And you're an all-around great guy, so it's been fabulous to serve with you, really. Yep.
Great. And then, let's see, Councilmember Carlton.
I've loved getting to know you over the past 6 years, whether it's on the dais or on the soccer field with our daughters. I am always very impressed with the insightfulness of your listening and digesting and being able to cut straight to the chase. And at first I was frustrated because you don't answer your phone. And then I realized why. You fly under all the drama. And through the years I've learned to really respect the fact that you don't collect or feed the drama. You've always been very thoughtful, and I've really enjoyed working with you.
Vice Mayor Mueller.
Yeah, Rich, I think the thing I think most of when I think of you is courage. You, in ways that the public will never know, epitomize what it means to be a public servant, to leave what's going on in your own life at the door and come here every day and think about the public. And you have done that in a way, again, that the public will never know, but that we know, that I can't describe it. And I appreciate it so much, and I am so proud of it, of the commitment you've made to this community for the last 12 years. Thank you.
These are hard because I find myself wanting to get out of the way and let the new folks come in, and so there's an urgency. I'm like, I do this on council. I'm impatient, trying to move it along, but I just want to express how grateful I am to this community for just the work, the collaboration, the worry, the fretting, the sweat, the time. It's unique. You put in volumes of work into this city, and it does make the job harder, but it also makes, I think, anybody who's volunteering on these jobs better. Because if you don't come in prepared, somebody's going to call you on it, and you know it. And you learn that the hard way sometimes, or you watch somebody else learn the hard way, and you're like, oh, I'm not doing that again. And it's admirable. And I've lived in a lot of communities where people didn't put that kind of effort in, and I do think every city's defined by what I call their 100. There's 100 or so people, maybe a little more, a little less, that pretty much guide the city. And some of them may be on council or on commissions. A lot of them come to council meetings regularly. They volunteer certain areas, but they're active. And they have a voice, and they make it very clear that they are a part of this community and that they're not going to let this community go in directions that don't make sense or don't kind of emulate the values of the community. And it changes. Some people come in and out. Some get frustrated and decide to take a break, come back a little later. But that Menlo 100 is, a lot of them are here. And you run the city, and it's yours, and we work for you. We volunteered to do that. And so a lot of this responsibility does fall on your shoulders. If you don't show up to meetings, if you don't push this council, we won't be as good as we can be. So don't stop doing that, even if it looks like we're tired. And we don't answer our phone. It's not. It's just there's a way to balance the sanity. And so I'm just really grateful for that. And the council that I've worked with, this council is amazing. The talent on this council, and just the rigor in putting in the time and the thoughtful process in the meetings and dedication. You know these people very well, as I do, and it's just a sincere commitment that I feel from all of them, and I'm just indebted to those people and the people before, whether it's Andy, Hayward, Kelly, John Boyle. These are people that put in a lot of time, and cared, and the people before that and the people that'll come after. So thank you. I probably be more effective getting things done now that I'm not on council. And that's no slight. That's just a city government thing. And we'll just talk about that in whispers. But thank you. And I wish you all good well. And I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to be in a different seat. So thanks very much.
I'm very honored to read the proclamation expressing the City of Menlo Park's appreciation to Kirsten Keith. Right. Whereas Kirsten Keith was elected to the City Council in 2010 and re-elected in 2014, served as Mayor Pro Tem in 2011 and 2016, and was selected as mayor for 2012 and 2017. And whereas Kirsten Keith led Menlo Park through numerous periods of change and excitement during her tenure, including the hiring of a new city manager and the arrival of Facebook headquarters to our community, and whereas Kirsten Keith represented the city as part of countless local, regional, statewide, and national organizations, committees, and boards, including leadership roles in the League of California Cities Peninsula Division, statewide policy committees, and the statewide League Board of Directors. And whereas Kirsten Keith worked to keep Menlo Park at the forefront on environmental issues, including support for the formation of Peninsula Clean Energy, the adoption of 100% renewable and greenhouse gas-free electricity for city facilities and operations, and whereas Kirsten Keith successfully advocated for and garnered support from her colleagues and city staff to recognize the value of mindfulness training for law enforcement and implemented it for all city police officers to further enhance the relationship between law enforcement and the public. And whereas Kirsten Keith has been a champion of increasing the city's available housing stock, especially affordable units and transit-oriented development, and led the effort to fund the largest affordable family housing project in the history of Menlo Park. And whereas Kirsten Keith, an avid cyclist herself, backed enhancements to Menlo Park's network of bike lanes and the addition of new connections to regional networks, and promoted transportation policies to further reduce vehicle traffic while making Menlo Park safer for cyclists and pedestrians. And whereas Kirsten Keith pushed for the adoption of Menlo Park Safe City Ordinance and has dedicated both her professional and civic life to issues of social justice, equity, and protection of all persons, regardless of their immigration status. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the City of Menlo Park extends its heartfelt appreciation to Kirsten Keith for her years of leadership, dedication, and service to the Menlo Park community. I know.
Oh, it's always hard to stand up here and have those things read, as I think a lot of people know in the audience. But, thanks, Peter. It's wonderful to have you read this for me from Outgoing tonight. So I just want to say thanks to the community as well. This is such a great place to live. And, my grandparents lived here in Bellhaven in the 50s, and my mother lived here. And my husband and I raised our kids here, and they're both studying tonight for their finals. But it's been such a pleasure to work with all of you, all the community members, and to the staff here. I mean, we have a fantastic staff. To our assistant city manager, our city manager again, Starla and Bill. It's been great working with you, and just with all the commissioners and former mayors and all the great people who live here, and the great people who don't live here but who are in our neighboring cities, Palo Alto and East Palo Alto. We just have such a great place. And some of the things that I am so proud of is the work that we've done on the San Francisco Creek Joint Powers Authority. And I look at former Mayor Larry Moody from East Palo Alto because what we've been able to do with that since 2010 when I got on that board. And I remember the first meeting, and Rich Gordon was in this room. And Rich Gordon was on the Board of Supervisors at that time, and he said, we can't do this with the Army Corps of Engineers. It's gonna take too long. So now 20 years later, the flood was in 1998. And this Friday we'll be celebrating the fact that we got the first phase of this huge project done, a $45 million project done without the Army Corps of Engineers, and cobbled together the money to do that because of dedicated public servants from East Palo Alto, the county of San Mateo, the water district of Santa Clara. And there's just so much there that I don't think a lot of people know about. But wow, just a ton of work by a ton of people to make this happen. And one of the most impressive things at one of our last meetings was when some residents from East Palo Alto came and spoke and said, thank you, I feel safe in my house now. I'm not going to die in a flood here. And so that's huge, and that's some of the great work that goes on with the cities. Thanks. So I want to also thank my husband who's here. Thank you, John, for all the work you've done behind the scenes with our kids. And we all of us have children on this council, and we couldn't do it without our spouses to help us out, as Julie knows too. And it's a lot of work, a lot of dedication, but we do it because we love the community. We really do, and it's been an honor to be on the council. I know, you heard earlier about when we all came in, the three of us came in together in 2010 during the recession, and it was pretty tough, and we were cutting things left and right. And to now, this crazy, amazing economy in the Silicon Valley, and we're all in the middle of it. And, traffic is a major issue, and we all know it. And it is a tough nut to crack. But we are all very blessed to be in this area too, and I feel blessed to live here as well. And I want to thank Diane and Menlo Spark for all the work you do to help us in reducing greenhouse gas emissions. I think this is one of the most important things that we're going to have to continue working on as the city progresses. And we've done so much in this city, from the general plan update that we did, making all new buildings net zero energy, and hopefully we'll bring that onto the other side as well and make all new buildings net zero energy. This is going to be one of the crucial issues of our time. I just want to also talk about the BOSCA. I was served on BOSCA, which is the Bay Area Water Supply and Conservation Agency, and I know Larry was on that with me as well. and went through the drought. I mean, just looking back over these 8 years, we went through a serious drought. And the litigation about tearing the Hetch Hetchy down, there's just so many different things that go on you'll see once you get on the council and you end up on all these different boards, and there's a lot of different issues. And then it was a pleasure to be involved in the League of California Cities as well, and to serve as the president of the League of California Cities Women's Caucus and advance women's issues around the state. So all these wonderful things from our great place right here in Menlo Park. And I see so many commissioners here tonight. Hello, all of you in the back there too. And I want to say thank you to all of our commissioners. You guys really do a lot of the heavy lifting in your commissions to bring things forward to all of us here on City Council. And it really does take it takes a village to make these things happen. And Katie, thanks for bringing up the Oak Grove Bike Boulevard. I think that is, such a great project for the city, and I know we'll be able to do more and keep making it safer for folks to bike and get around. So just in closing, thank you to the residents of Menlo Park for the opportunity to serve you. It has really been my pleasure and my honor. And I'm not going anywhere. I'll be right here too and enjoying our city. And congratulations to all of our new incoming people. I know you're going to have a great experience working with the city staff and doing wonderful things for the city. So good luck to everybody too. Thanks.
Wanted to invite my fellow council members to make comments on Kirsten. So.
Kirsten, it always strikes me, I think, because of your innate ability to, first, just you're inexhaustible, and your ability to reach out to so many different communities, participate in so many different projects and groups around this community, around the entire Bay Area, and state. It's impressive, and I can see every time when you're talking about it, there are so many things you want to communicate to everybody because you do so much behind the scenes. And I've always been amazed by that and impressed. I learned from it. When I saw it, I thought, there's some skills there that we could all learn from. But that's an attribute that you brought back to the city. It's outside knowledge. It's relationships, things that happen. So that's a strength. And it comes naturally because it's easy to make friends. You're easy to be with, and I'm sure that helps a lot because your personality is just effervescent and makes it easy. And you've carried yourself very well here, and made me proud as a voter, and hopefully made everybody proud here. And I think you should never forget those contributions. You've been great. Thank you.
Councilmember Carlton.
I've told you this before, but I think it bears repeating in this scenario, in this setting. When I was first elected, I will always remember how kind you were to me, because you didn't know me from Adam, really. And I appreciated that you took me aside and kind of taught me how things work. You took me to some of the dinners. You made me feel welcome. And I think that is a really special thing I will always deeply appreciate that you did. And I think you do have a lot to be proud of. There are a lot of things that you championed and pushed forward. And whether it's next week or whether it's when you're 80 years old, riding your bicycle down the road, I think you're going to be able to look around and feel proud of what you've done in your time on council.
Yeah, so you are an incredibly strong advocate, Kirsten. And we've seen that in Menlo Park over and over again for the issues that you cared about and advocated for. And like Rich commented on, your regional work is remarkable, and your presence is going to be noticed and felt, already is noticed and felt outside of the city. And so very grateful for that, and will be missed.
And Kirsten, just in addition to the proclamation, of course, it's just been a pleasure working with you, and just appreciate your passion and commitment, and also your ability to keep things moving forward. We saw that under your mayorship, and I know that the city has benefited greatly from that. When we had the 101 overpass issues, you drove our staff to make sure we could get things adjusted, corrected, cut through, traffic addressed, and you made sure that that was item one during the early part of last year when there was a crisis around that. And that's just, I think, one of many cases where I think you led the city quite effectively, and we appreciate that. So, right. So now, Vice Mayor Mueller, you and I will head down.
So I get to read Peter's, which is appropriate because I think we've served on every possible subcommittee together over the last 8 years. Whereas Peter Otake was elected to the City Council in 2010 and reelected in 2014, served as Mayor Pro Tem in 2012 and 2017, and was elected as Mayor for 2013 and 2018. And whereas Peter Otake focused his efforts on achieving fiscal responsibility for our city, including advocating for the city to pay down an unfunded pension liability that was costing us about $800,000 each year, saving taxpayers $3.6 million in interest expense. I highlight that for you all because every year when we're going through our budget season, we remember that. It's money that makes sense. Whereas Peter Otake also was a champion of economic development, as evidenced by his support for the responsible development of the El Camino Real corridor, his outreach to the venture capital community to initiate a startup incubator in Menlo Park, and his efforts to preserve and enhance Santa Cruz Avenue by attracting desirable restaurateurs to our downtown. And whereas Peter Otake and the City Council submitted the housing element to the state of California for the first time in 20 years, and as mayor, he led the charge in working with Menlo Park state legislative representatives to fix the state law and bring common sense to the implementation of state requirements for cities regarding housing elements. And whereas Peter Otake promoted collaboration and partnership between the City of Menlo Park and the Menlo Park Fire Protection District on emergency preparedness and operations, including an update of the city's emergency operations plans to build community resiliency. And whereas Peter Otake worked with Facebook to establish a local community fund to benefit Menlo Park residents, and whereas Peter Otake worked to open our community to historical, cultural, and business opportunities by supporting the work of the Sister City Committee to foster friendship and sister city relationships, including the city's first such agreement, he signed as mayor with the City of Galway, Ireland. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the City of Menlo Park extends its heartfelt appreciation to Peter Otake for his years of leadership, dedication, and service to the Menlo Park community. So I'm going to go around and let everyone say a few words, then I'll make my comments.
Mr. Otake, so I remember when you were running in 2010, and it was just following John Boyle stepped off, right? And I remember thinking, because John would always say, it's tough being the only Republican on the group here. And I would always tease him going, in Northern California, Republican, anywhere else, you're a liberal. I mean, you just hold on to that tightly here in Northern California. And, we worked together a lot on the finance stuff and some of the subcommittees, and I appreciated that John had the finance experience to bring in there. And I thought, well, where are we going to find that? And here comes Peter, who has an equal resume to come in with. And you took the horse by the reins, so to speak, on that. And from that moment all the way through, you've just applied, I think, a higher level of intelligence on the numbers. Kept us all true to it, I think. And you were also, it's not even just passionate, but it was just a natural kind of conversation with numbers you'd have with staff, auditors, anybody else, and that's an attribute that's always needed in an elected position. So, thank you for that. And I'll tell you, anybody I've talked to about you, the first thing out of their mouth is, "That's a really nice guy." Peter Otake's a great guy, and I'll say that 100%. You are a great guy, and I appreciate everything about that. You've been elegant in your way you've handled the worst storms and meetings equal to anything else, right? A good meeting, a bad meeting, you wouldn't know by talking to you before or after those meetings, and thank you for that. You stood tall for us. Thank you, Peter.
I think that right there is what I admire about you so much, is the intelligent balance, unflappable. Although I have seen you angry a couple of times, and you're formidable when poked with the right stick. But I think that you've always been calm and focused and added that balance, and you're just such a nice person. I'm glad I can hang out with you now and not have to worry about making sure that we don't talk about things we vote on or Brown Act. We can just go to Refuge and have a sandwich now. And I've really enjoyed working with you, and I've really enjoyed getting to be your friend through the years.
Peter, wow. Well, again, 8 years here together, and it's been a complete pleasure working with you, really. Your demeanor and your professionalism is fabulous, plus you're really fun and just a great guy. And I'll miss our collating parties. And I got to say, if I... having 8 years here going through the recession to this now, I don't think I could have done this with two finer men on this council to go through 8 years with on the council. You have always been very calm, and even, under pressure when we have heated discussions and debates, I would reiterate that you always bring a very calm demeanor. And your knowledge of the finances and our budgets. And I remember that video you did in 2010, the budget video, and just got a kick out of that. And it's true. It's true. You know your numbers. And you've served this Menlo Park, our city, really, really well. So I won't miss you, because I'm going to keep seeing you and your wealthy wife and your children. And so we're all still here. But it's been an absolute pleasure and an honor to serve with you here for 8 years. So thank you, Peter.
So just real quickly, I have a couple things to share about Peter. When you think of Peter, Peter's a leader, and he loves this city dearly. And the evidence that I can give of that in this last city council race, Peter very much wanted to be reelected. But Peter cares about the city so much that he saw that there was a possibility he might not be. And so how did Peter handle that? He started sharing his knowledge with the people who were running against him. Literally would sit down with Betsy and with Ron and share with them things about the city that they otherwise wouldn't know when others wouldn't do that. He has elevated this council during his presence on it. He's been a true friend and also very much an advocate for the city. And I'll miss you very much.
Thanks. So it really has been truly an honor and pleasure to serve the community of Menlo Park. I certainly wanted to thank my family. They will now see me on more weeknight evenings. And I certainly wanted to thank all of our city staff spread out around this room. I've worked with each of you on different projects over the years, and it has been an absolute pleasure, and I appreciate your hard work and commitment and passion for this city. And without that, we would not have been able to accomplish as much as we have. I'm proud about a couple of things that weren't mentioned in the proclamation. I wanted to just say that I'm very proud of the tone of collaboration that we set on the City Council over the last several years. We didn't agree on everything, but every member came to the meetings well prepared, had insightful and good questions. We vigorously discuss the issue and then vote on it, and then we move on to the next issue without personal sniping. We got through each of some pretty important issues in the city, and made sure that we did the work of our residents. I'm also proud to have been part of some of these, what I call out-of-the-box compromises that sort of took place over the course of the last several years to make some of these bigger things happen, whether it was paying down the pension unfunded liability or working with Assemblymember Rich Gordon on an idea that Justin Murphy, I think, had on reforming the housing element to make it more flexible for cities to apply, working with on the downtown specific plan with downtown merchants and trying to figure out a way so that we could balance the parking garage with the downtown Santa Cruz downtown and trying to make sure that it was balanced. All of these things were part of an effort to keep things moving forward and to get things done. There's no question that the election that I sort of sensed there was a lot of trepidation out there among residents about traffic, about growth, about construction, and fully understand that. And yet I remain very confident that the city and the new city council will find that balance to maintain the great residential quality of life of our city while the Silicon Valley engine grows around us. So I want to congratulate the new city council members, and I thought I would provide a couple of tips which I thought might be helpful to you. Number one, as I mentioned, look for those out-of-the-box compromise potential opportunities. Sometimes they're straightforward. We saw that on the Drager's loading zone. I'm looking at Betsy, we talked about Complete Streets Commission, recognizing that one option D that worked out well. And then sometimes they're not so obvious, like I think you saw the recent council meeting where we were looking at the Oak Grove bike lanes, and we had the Oak Grove condo association saying they need a loading zone, and we figured out that there's potentially a cutout that we might be able to make to create a loading zone. Those are the details, but it's important because it helps to reach compromise with folks that are impacted by decisions that we make. Number two, support staff. Thank staff. As I mentioned, they work really hard. They do great things for the city, and I know they appreciate when we appreciate them. Number three, you've got a lot of surpluses coming here with the new hotels coming online, generating at least $3 million a year, and new property taxes coming in. So encourage you, don't spend it all in one place. But make sure there's, as we've talked about before, and I mentioned the State of the City address, we have some important infrastructure needs. This is a great opportunity to be able to address those. And finally, try and keep a sense of humor. There's definitely, these are serious, weighty issues that we are, work on in the City Council, but it's important to have that sense of humor. Whether it's in closed session or in other committee meetings, just try and keep that rapport of collaboration going so that all of you can work together and achieve the city's goals. So with that, I am extremely grateful for the opportunity to serve Menlo Park over the last 8 years. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not moving, but I'll take a nice little break here. But I really do appreciate the opportunity to serve, and thank you to all of you. So. Okay, so take one last look. Thank you, everyone. All right, let's get our name cards. And I also want to mention that we got a certificate from Congressmember Anna Eshoo as well. Thank you.
That's nice.
So, that. Yeah, we're probably going to have to. Oh, yeah, let's do that. Let's do one.
Yeah.
Look over here. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's do one more. 1, 2. Oops. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, here, you have. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Vice Mayor Mueller, I turn the meeting over to you.
At this time, we're going to go ahead and proceed with item F2, the swearing in of the new council members. Will Cecilia Taylor, Betsy Nash, and Drew Combs please come forward?
Right hands and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter. Have you join me over here in the stage?
I think we're going to stay. Yeah, just go ahead. Yeah, it's fine.
Councilmember Taylor.
My paper is down in front. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much. I am grateful to Menlo Park voters expressing a new vision in our city, change. This change will bring neighborhoods together to find creative solutions to the complex problems facing our city. I am honored by the percentage of voters that voted for me that I received from my community. And I am proud to represent all communities on the City Council. While I sit in this chair, I will do my best to prioritize community needs. I recognize we are moving forward with many challenges, and I'm realistic of what I can do. And I am looking forward to what we can do as a council together. I will be working to develop relationships with each council member to better understand each district's unique challenges. Thank you all.
Councilmember Combs.
Yeah. First thing, thank you everyone for coming tonight. We really very much appreciate your attendance. I want to say I'm humbled by the faith that my fellow residents have put in me, and I can promise you that I will approach this position with all the seriousness, integrity, and sincerity that I have in my being. I want to thank my wife, Alexa, for all of her support during this whole process. I'm sorry. As I've said, you, Alexa, are my North Star, and even if all this had ended in a loss, I knew I wouldn't be lost because of that. I so much appreciate all of your love and support. And our daughter Daly, thank you so much. I knew we had sort of crossed a Rubicon of sorts when at night when we were reading stories, when all of a sudden Clifford and the Cat in the Hat started running for city council. Daily, you have been my canvassing buddy, and I very much love you and appreciate that. I also want to thank those people, the residents who shared themselves with me during this process, whether it was telling me that you weren't going to vote for me and exactly why. I very much appreciated that. Are opening up your homes for meet and greets, or agreeing to post lawn signs. I'm indebted to you. And finally, I just want to say I want to thank Rich and Kirsten and Peter for their service to the city. For Kirsten and Peter specifically, I know for the past few months we have been opponents. But more importantly, we are neighbors, and that is the relationship that is enduring, and that is the one I will look to build in the months and years ahead. So thank you.
Councilmember Nash.
I just want to thank the entire community of Menlo Park, and especially District 4, for the opportunity to serve in Menlo Park and be on City Council with this wonderful group of people. I'm really excited and looking forward to all we can do for Menlo Park. And I also want to thank Peter and Kirsten and Rich for the wonderful example they've set, and really excited to also work with you going forward as you're in the community. Thank you so much.
Okay, at this point, we're going to go ahead and move on to item F3, the selection of mayor and mayor pro tempore. And at this time, we'll take public comment, if there is any. No public comment? Okay, at this time, we're going to turn the meeting over to our city clerk, Ms. Herron.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Mueller. At this time, I will accept nominations.
I move, or I nominate Ray Mueller.
Do we have a second?
I second that.
Can we take a vote by a show of hands? Right, at this time, we introduce Mayor Ray Mueller.
I'm going to spare everyone coming down to the dais, but I do have a few notes. And it was funny, I was trying to think of what I would say tonight, and I was really having a hard time. And I went back and I looked at my notes from 2014, the last time that I had the honor to serve our city as mayor. And I think they're as true tonight as they were then. So I'm going to revisit them because no one really remembers what a city council member says after that meeting anyway. Menlo Park is many things to many different people, depending upon who you ask. But there is one thing to all of us that it's our home. At the end of the day, we're just neighbors striving to renew and preserve a place we cherish and are proud of, to raise our children in, and in which to grow old with those we love. Do we always agree on what that means and how it should be accomplished? No. But in Menlo Park, there's a tradition that we cherish, and that's that our neighbors care enough to be part of the conversation. We all gather together and work together to build a future because we recognize that a city is not defined by its boundaries and structures, but rather by the strength and health of the whole community that dwells within. We know that our greatest resource is the intellect, passion, and goodwill of our residents. That is as true today as it was in 2014. And I think our move to district elections this year renewed that spirit in our city to see so many people involved and engaged. And there's a spirit of renewal that's with us now, and an energy that I'm really looking forward to and sharing with all of you, drawing upon the wisdom of councils immediately past and further past who are also with us. So I am very grateful for this opportunity to share with you all. And my one piece of advice that I want to share with all the council that I'll try to remember is to never underestimate the power of a sharp mind, a sincere heart, and a kind voice. Thank you. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to the selection of Mayor Pro Tempore. Do I have a nomination?
Can I make a nomination?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I would. First, I want to say I forgot to acknowledge my mother, who's up from who's up from Compton, but it is her and my father's sense of community service that have driven me for much of my life, and that is why I'm here. And I want to nominate a woman whose strength reminds me a lot of what comes from my mother, and I'd like to nominate Councilmember Taylor for Vice Mayor.
I'll second that.
We have 2 seconds, so I think that's by acclamation. Ms. Taylor.
Thank you, council members.
I should say Mayor Pro Tempore Taylor. Do you have any more comments?
I am speechless.
All right.
Thank you for the nominations.
Okay. So with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to item F5. For those of you who are with us, we just have a few business items we have to do this evening. So I apologize for that. I think what we're going to do actually is move item F5 right now, if I can have a motion to move that to our next special meeting on the 18th.
Is there a reason?
Yes, because we can go ahead and move item 18. We can move this item and also all of the item, but the city subcommittees, but the two we need to special council meeting on the 18th, and not have to take up everybody's time here.
Okay.
Is that, do we have an agreement?
Yeah, so just, we're going to address the Stanford GUP and the city manager selection committee, right? Those two items.
Those are the two
Okay.
items
Yeah.
we'll deal tonight, and the rest we'll go ahead and move.
And the
Mayor
city, and the
Mueller.
city selection committee.
And the city selection committee. So
Oh,
I need a
Or
motion.
the city selection.
Can we have one more?
Wait 1 second.
The Caltrain Local Policymakers Group also may have a meeting in the upcoming future. So if we could at least get somebody to volunteer for that, and we can reevaluate it when we make all the final determinations, that would be sufficient.
Okay, so what we're going to do right now is I need a motion to go ahead and move F5 to the December 18th meeting.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, just raise your hand real quick. By acclamation, that's moved. By majority, all unanimous vote, that's moved. For F6, appoint city council representatives to alternative various regional agencies. We're going to go ahead and deal with the city manager recruitment subcommittee first. Any comments on that? Yes.
I'm interested in serving on the city subcommittee.
All right, I currently serve on it. I'd like to stay on it. Does that work for everyone?
That's fine.
All right, so we'll go ahead and make that the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, go ahead and raise your hands. Passes unanimously. We're going to go ahead and move on to the Stanford General Use Permit Ad Hoc Committee. We need 2 representatives for that.
I'd like to be on that committee.
I'm happy to volunteer also if no one else is interested, but certainly would defer if someone is.
I would be happy to serve on it as well, but either way.
So
Yeah,
you're fine to come off?
Yeah, totally.
All right, so the motion is for Mayor Pro Tem Taylor and Councilmember Nash.
So moved.
All in favor, go ahead and raise your hands. We're done with that. That passes unanimously. Caltrain local policy meeting. How many representatives do we need for that?
2.
2. I'm happy to serve on that.
Yeah, I'll volunteer also.
Does that work? All right. So can I have a motion for Councilmember Combs and myself to go ahead and serve on that?
I'll second.
All right. All in favor? Aye. Raise your hands. That passes unanimously. And we now need to provide direction on the city's, so we're going to move on now to, strike that, sorry. I'd like a motion to move the rest of F6 to the December 18th meeting. Can I have a motion?
I motion to move all of those to the December 18th meeting.
Second?
Second.
All right. All in favor, go ahead and raise your hands. Passes unanimously. And now we're going to move on to F7, provide direction to the city's voting delegate regarding the regional vacancies for the next city selection committee meeting on December 14th. Typically, the mayor would be attending this meeting. I will not be attending this meeting.
I will.
But I was going to ask, the custom is to ask the vice mayor if she would like to go ahead and exercise the voting right of the city in the absence of the mayor.
Yes.
Okay. That being the case, we need to provide direction on the city's voting delegates, which provide direction to you regarding how to vote for the vacancies on that issue. Does anyone have any comment they'd like to make?
It's pretty straightforward.
Okay, then we'll go ahead and leave you with to exercise your discretion. That'll be the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, everyone vote. That is unanimous. Moving on to item G, do we have a city manager's report this evening?
No, sir, we don't.
No council members' reports, and we are adjourned.
Yay.